Remember, again, gifts are an expression of love. If you find yourself expecting it and think he owes it to me, maybe adjust your ideas about that, because it's like saying, you didn't tell me you loved me and you owe that to me. You kind of can't demand that.
Welcome back to another episode on the Fascinating Womanhood channel. I'm Cherry Lynn, and I'm here with Dixie, Andelin, Forsyth. Hi. We're doing a complete guide to gifting. We're inspired by the holiday season. Today we're talking about gifting, how to gift, how to ask for gifts, and problem solving difficult gifting situations. So we're going to hit 5 main points today about gifting. Number 1, to gift or not to gift. We're not talking about as much female friends.
It could be other relatives, the in-laws, things that get tricky.
But we're mostly inspired because we always talk about relationships on Fascinating Womanhood channel. So we're mostly inspired to talk about gifts for him, husband, boyfriend, that type of thing. How do you decide whether you're exchanging gifts or not? I know that seems like such a simple question. I know some couples talk about it naturally, and some women, we've seen this so much on our group. Some women go, I don't know if we're gift exchanging this year and I don't know what to do.
It's interesting. So many of us are kind of afraid to just have a conversation about it. And the best time to have a conversation about it is when it's not in the heat of the moment. Like when you're having dinner or just relaxing and talking, and it's not like we have to decide right this minute. If in doubt, because sometimes there is doubt, especially with certain relatives, maybe in-laws and things like that, that you're not, what you come from different backgrounds, different family backgrounds, sometimes literally from different cultures. So you have to take all of that into consideration. If in doubt, bring a gift of baked goods or some sort of food, because that's always appropriate. It's easy. It's pretty inexpensive, especially if you can cook or bake, and you can do that. Something small, a jar of jam, a homemade candle, or something like that. If it's a significant person like your spouse or your boyfriend, talk about it in advance when you're not in the heat of the moment. Say, what do you want to do for this year? A lot of times the big thing with this is our part as women is compromise. Make sure that you don't feel like it has to be one way because in our family everybody always does this. Or I cannot be happy. Compromise, such as we're going to the holidays again. People like you may be married to or in a relationship with somebody that they don't really do birthday gifts. Or they're not big on that. They never saw their parents give an anniversary gift. You have to understand, seek to understand first. Instead of, I've got to have it this way or I cannot be happy, because compromise is a huge advantage. And compromise doesn't always mean you get nothing. It's a matter of understanding another person, literally being okay, because a gift, break it down. A gift is something that is an expression of love that you have for someone or they have for you. And if you expect or require a gift, it's sort of like asking someone to tell you that they love you. It becomes awkward. And
exactly why so many women in particular, I think, get so worked up about this subject.
It's very emotional for us.
It's love.
Right. And when you understand this is emotional, you can kind of break it down and think, okay, the relationship is number one for me. You might say, well, why should I always have to understand him? No, try to be flexible, because in time, a lot of things change as you understand someone and your relationship grows.
Now, what if he brings it up? What do you want to do about gifting this year?
Then tell him what you would like. Don't hint. We are so good at hinting, ladies. We're so good at hinting. Doesn't work very good with guys. Doesn't work, not blunt.
Be specific.
But specific. It's a good word. Be specific.
And it's hard for us to do that. It's very hard to say, oh, well, I would really like a new dress. It's really hard to say that.
I would love a gift from you. It would mean a lot to me. And you might even discuss a dollar amount, depending on your situation. I would love that. And if you want a hint, I'd be happy to give you some hints.
I think, too, don't say, well, you don't have to get me anything if you don't really mean it.
No.
Someone will say, well, you don't really have to go nuts, but they're secretly thinking, maybe if I say that, he'll think I'm being flexible and he'll want to get me something really nice. I totally understand the thought behind that, but being aware that, like what you're saying they don't get hints. And that is actually a hint, even though it doesn't seem like a hint.
I got to tell you this. My husband, Bob, asked me about a year ago for a hint. So I gave him a very broad hint. I said, this catalog, this thing that's in this catalog, I opened it up to the page and showed him this thing that I wished I had. He said, I would love one of these. Totally forgot about it. He even saw that as a hint. So he just says, oh, no, I feel bad. You can just order it for yourself. And I thought,
you're like, oh,
kind of isn't very fun anymore. But again, I go with what his heart is, what he means. He isn't trying to be awful.
So the next point is, if you really, really want something, and this doesn't have to just be Christmas, this might be anniversary, this might be your birthday, you really, really, really want something, how should you approach that?
I'm glad you brought this up. This is part of girlishness. Girlishness isn't always about resolving conflict. It's also about how to receive gifts, how to ask for things. Even if you're both multimillionaires, we need things occasionally from each other. Also, a little bit like the last point, which is be very specific and say, you know what, I would really love a blank. That would mean a lot to me. Is there any way in the next year we might be able to do that? Or if it's for a gift, for a birthday or anniversary, is there any way we could afford this? I would really love to go to this place. Mm-hmm. Or I would really love to live in the country.
The ladies that work, because a lot of our ladies work, mm-hmm. And they are equally in part of the decisions financially. Mm-hmm. Is that still something? Can you explain why it's important to still ask?
Well, it depends on the couple, but you live in the same household. Presumably, your financial decisions affect each other. So it's always smart to talk to each other about that. The other thing that you can do is to say, do you think it would be possible for our anniversary, birthday, or whatever this year to do such and such? Remember, anything that you really want isn't always for a special occasion.
Points here are making sure you ask at the right time. You're very specific. You're really thoughtful about the occasion.
And sensitive to him and not demanding.
Number 3, how to find the perfect gift for him. So this is such a common one. I hear so many times. If he wanted it, he would have bought it himself. There's that issue. There's also financial issue of, I want to get him something, but I'm on a tight budget. Or there's the issue of the man that just says, I don't want anything.
You know, what you said in the beginning, and part of this is finding the perfect gift. Mm-hmm. Every year, do you realize if you have the attitude that you have to find the perfect gift for Christmas, for birthday, for anniversary, that's a huge task. And it makes me feel stressed just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Theoretically, what if you get some amazing gift for him one year? You buy him some brand new suit or something. Or let's go even broader, a car. Mm-hmm. If you do something like that, there's no way you can top yourself. And you set yourself up for stress, major stress. So how about lowering your expectations for the perfect gift and realize that going back to gifts are expressions of love. And the way that I do that is to watch what he likes. If you're dating him, you don't know him as well as you do if you've been married 50 years like me. You watch what he likes. If he's into sports, get something sport related. If he's into tools, he likes to do it yourself stuff at home. And it might be a good idea to go window shopping sometime and notice what he likes, what he's drawn to, and get some.
What if he buys all those things for himself?
Okay. So what we do with him is we get him something he would not get for himself or do for himself, like a custom-made mug with a picture on it of something that's personal to him. A picture you have framed that you found, that you took or you framed. Something that you can't go out and purchase that you have to put together or order.
You have to get creative with these types of people, with these types of guys. What about the man that says he doesn't want anything?
Make him something, food, favorite cookies. If he doesn't want anything, you still want to express your love. You can make a great card. I really love you and I really wanted to do this.
What about when you're on a really, really tight budget and, maybe he says, oh, I really want, like you said earlier, something extravagant, like a car, but you can't afford it. How do you handle that?
Does he not realize he can't afford it?
What if he's the kind of spender and you're the...
Yes, I have friends that have that situation where they handle the money and the husband wants a brand new rifle or whatever, and something that's expensive. I would absolutely love to do that. I'm afraid that I just don't see how we can afford it. Again, being thoughtful, kind, hopefully not in the heat of the moment.
I think a lot of people tend to respond to that with a sarcasm. Oh, I would really, really love a new car. Like, that's all I want is a new car or something. To respond to that in a way of like, oh, yeah, right, that's not going to happen. I've seen it and I've heard it. And I think it's so important, like you're saying, to be kind.
Well, sarcasm is actually anger that's an attempt at disguising it. It's very thinly disguised. It doesn't really fool anybody. Sarcasm is saying, you bug me, or I'm upset with you. Being upfront, and I mean, this is part of girlishness, is being just sincere specific. You can say, well, it's specific to say you're a jerk, but that isn't what we mean.
What if it really does feel like something that he thinks you can afford, and he's thinking in his head, like, I'm finally going to get that thing that I want, that Rolex watch or whatever it is. And then you're saying a more feminine and softer response would just,
it's a relationship response.
Love to get you that, and you completely deserve it.
Which is, I don't want to hurt your feelings. Right. I want you to have this. I want you to be happy. Issuing venom or sarcasm on the guy that you love isn't good for your relationship. So we're eliminating that in favor of something that's more honorable.
So number 4, when he forgets to get you something, or he just doesn't get you anything.
Yeah, it's hard. And I've known people, even family members, who have wept coming to me with that, because it can be hard for us because we are so relationship oriented. And some people think that gift giving is just completely optional. Or
just forget, like genuinely just forget.
They genuinely forget.
Procrastinate.
If somebody forgets something, if I forget something, I really hope that people will forgive me. Nobody's perfect. And if you genuinely forgot, be forgiving, because we like to be forgiven. We like people to accept us for our weaknesses and our strengths. And so be forgiving and patient. And remember, again, gifts are an expression of love. If you find yourself expecting it and think he owes it to me, maybe adjust your ideas about that, because it's like saying, you didn't tell me you loved me and you owe that to me. You kind of can't demand that. And if you do demand it, it's not going to feel very good when he gives it.
Is there a way that you can inspire him to be
sure
a better gift giver, or does that come into you can't change anyone?
No, what I would do, when you can't really, but what I would do, because you can have an influence on him when you're both upstairs, it's not in the heat of the moment, say, what do you want to do about gift giving? Or do you feel like we can afford something for my birthday or something? There's a way you can bring it up that if you suspect, you know him, we don't know him, but you know him. If he's the kind of guy that forgets.
Good. I think it's good that you're saying like there's some options. And I think what I hear a lot is repeat offenders. There's this husband that every year on Valentine's Day, I never get something, or every year on my birthday, he forgets, or he gives me something. It's basically nothing, and I love what you're saying about, well, maybe you can have some influence on him if you know that he does this.
Sure. He might actually forget. And men are sometimes like this because, again, ladies, they're not as sensitive to the relationships as we are. You can also ask him, my birthday's coming up. Do you need any ideas of what might be good?
Oh, that's good.
Suspect that he
Do you need any hints?
Do you need any hints? Thinking men don't get hints very well. And then if he does, be specific. There's a version of girlish joy that fits for all women. You just got to find your own, your version of it. And it fits for you.
Another side part of that is, what do you do when someone gives you a gift and you don't like it?
You need to consider the thought that the person put into it, the fact that it is a gift of love, and be gracious and appreciate it. I had a friend who received a gift from her husband of a sexy negligee, and she thought that was really embarrassing. She took it back to the store, returned it for a flannel nightgown. He never bought her anything real personal.
What should she done instead of returning it?
Always be gracious.
But what? Should you just take it even though it's not you?
I would not return a gift like that ever.
But what if it truly is something that you just, like, what if someone gives you perfume and you just cannot stand the way it smells?
It depends. If it's somebody that is not going to know, you can easily try to exchange it if you can.
You would not tell them,
I would not ever tell them.
Okay.
No,
okay.
Just because you need to appreciate the thoughts, ladies. Our greatest strength, it's one of our greatest strengths, is in developing relationships. You can always have your heart touched that they do it at all.
So are you saying if you are opening that gift in front of that person, I love this? Or are you saying it's more about saying thank you so much?
It was so thoughtful of you. That is so, you are such a wonderful person. If your mother-in-law gives you a pair of ugly Frankenstein boots for Christmas, pull out your best acting skills and just appreciate, and you can be sincere about appreciating the fact that she went shopping for it, paid for it, and was thinking of you.
I would love for you to share your favorite gift you've ever received, for anything, any gifts that you've ever received, and then your favorite gift that you have given.
The favorite gift that I have given somebody is always something I make homemade. One year we were very poor students, and I made every gift that I gave to anyone because we didn't have any money for anything else. So that was a bunch of gifts. gifts. I made a dress for my mother. I made a dress for my mother-in-law. I made these trivets that hold hot things. I made those really inexpensively and gave those to different people. And I was so excited for Christmas that year because everything I gave was handmade. And I started in August or September because I knew it would take me a long time to do it. That was really fun. Aprons. I made aprons as an adult. The best gifts I've ever gotten are personal things from people that I love, a card, a phone call, and I love you. Again, something homemade that was really thoughtful. As a kid, one day my father picked me up from high school and he had this mischievous look on his face. And he said, would you like to go to Hawaii tomorrow?
Wow.
And he pulled out 2 tickets to Hawaii out of his pocket. So it was the most exciting present because it wasn't like a month from now. It was tomorrow. And he said he already arranged with school. He said, just take your guitar and play for her on the beach. So kind of make her relax.
Wow.
Only thing I require.
That, like you said, it makes you feel so loved, even if it's expensive, like the Hawaii trip, or if it's something thrifted that you spend a lot of time hunting for. Well, thank you so much. This has been so helpful. And for anyone that has questions, don't forget to type them down below. We would love to hear from you. And I know you probably have a lot of questions about this subject. We could go on. And we have videos every week. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so that you get notifications when we have new videos. And we will see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.